Hey yo, hey yo, peace and blessings, everybody. How you doing? This is James White, half of the Let's Stay Together channel. Peace and blessings to everybody. Peace and blessings to everybody. How are we doing this morning? It is good to be back. It is good to be back. Peace and blessings to the Most High God. This is another day, another chance. This is your man James White, half of the Let's Stay Together channel. Peace and blessings to you. Oh man, it is good to be back. It is good to be able to do another live. I just want to say thank you to all of our subscribers. Uh, Thank you for everybody who has viewed the channel. I was taking a look at the views of the channel. We're up to 116,000. 116,000 views. Wow, I never thought that this channel would ever have something like that. But hey, peace and blessings. Thank you to everybody who has been checking in, looking at the lives, looking at the shorts, uh, the chat community, all of those things, man. I just appreciate you guys. So thank you. Peace and blessings to everybody. Peace and blessings to everybody. Today, I just wanted to get on and just talk with you guys for a little bit before I head out the door for the second time. Man, just got a lot of funny things that's been going on, and some jokey things I want to touch on today. I'm just wondering what you guys think about this. Also, if you come in the chats, please reply. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, all the above. We really want to know what you guys think about what the conversation may be about, and if this applies to you, if you have been thinking about these things. First of all, matter of fact, let me pull something out right quick. I really want to make sure I have this definition right. So not this afternoon, this weekend, um, this weekend I was home, uh, and I was coming from the Sky Zone here in Fort Myers, Florida. Some of you may know what Sky Zone is. It is pretty much a well-known bounce house place that kids just go and hang out all the time. They're really, really popular. You can go look them up on YouTube, Google them and everything. They're really popular here in Fort Myers. Kids just go there and get away. Um, Da, 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 da. They go there and get away. You see parents, parents go there, all the above. And anyway, so my son and I, we were coming back home, and we live in a pretty nice middle class neighborhood. All right, we live in a pretty nice middle class neighborhood. My wife, my son, our youngest one. And but the thing about our neighborhood, we have a parking problem. We have a pretty pretty bad parking problem. And so what I like to do is I like to give my wife the driveway. We have a pretty small driveway. So I like to give her the driveway, I'll park to the curb uh right next to the house, so we don't have to walk too far. And then we have, you know, an area in our neighborhood that our guests can go park at and whatnot and stuff like that. But the thing is, our HOAs, they've always sent out letters and stuff like that and saying, hey, people need to stop parking on the side of the road and stuff like that. And if you're a guest, go park down um on the guest part and stuff like that. They send out those letters from time to time, and sometimes, they'll send threats of, they'll send a tow truck out and all that stuff like that. So, and I've thought about something because I've noticed my behavior over the years. Y'all bear with me now. Just laugh with me. Don't crack on me if you want to, because I've been cracking on myself. And I noticed something over the years that, and I don't know if this is uh, I don't. It's 40. If you're in your 40s, are you consider middle age? I guess so. I don't want to believe it because I've been doing young men stuff for almost the past decade with my boxing and stuff like that. Yeah, check it out. I put up some boxing sparring matches that I had on the page. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you think I got some moves, or if I had some moves back in my age of 39. If if I let me know if I was okay. But I've always heard, we always heard about the slang Karen, the slang of Karen. So, and I thought to myself, because one thing I started doing, I always noticed like us having a parking problem, it's like a silent code without anybody saying it. People know, okay, this is where I stay at, you know, kind of don't park here, because this is where I park at all the time. So it's like a silent code. No matter, it's like something that's just an unsaid rule, but to kind of like abide by it. And so like, but if it happens, it's kind of like, all right, now you kind of know now. Come on. But I've noticed I've always been the one that would go and knock on somebody's door. For real, for real. And I just thought to myself, like, almost after 3 years, I laughed at myself. And I was like, am I the black male Karen? And I'm gonna give y'all the definition of Karen because you guys know that I like definitions, and if you ever hear me talk on the lives and on the long videos, I always read out the definition. And it says Karen is a slang term for entitled, demanding person, typically a middle-aged white woman who frequently demands to speak to managers or confront service workers or minorities, often recognizing privileges. Now, I don't go up to I I don't know if I think I'm entitled or whatnot, but and I don't know if I'm a demanding person. I'm a pretty look. If you know me, I'm laid back, chill. I'm kind of passive, but if you get down to the get down, I'll get down. But I don't go around trying to speak to managers or confronting service workers or minorities. But I thought to myself, am I being a little bit demanding? Am I middle aged? That's why I asked that. Do I demand to speak to managers? If you can replace that with going to knock on the neighbor's door, or do I confront service workers a bunch again, going to go knock on the neighbor's door, be like, hey, because like I knocked on my neighbor's door yesterday. I was like, hey, do you have a guest here? Because it's like people who are visiting people, they never want to go down to where the guest parking is. They always want to park in front of, where the people who live in the neighborhood is. So they never want to go like at least 100 yards down the way and where there's a bunch of parking. Like nobody never wants to go there. So I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm just laughing at myself. My wife, she was laughing at me too. She was like, she didn't call me a Karen, but I called myself. I was like, am I a Karen? And it reminded me also, I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, I saw a clip of two elder Caucasian folks, and it was a black family. They were having a repast for a family member, and the elder white man, he just came over there raising sand, talking about people all up in the neighborhood blocking these parkways. And the wife was like, what was so funny? The wife was like, James, stop, stop. And y'all know my name is James. So that made it even more funny to me. And she's like, James, stop, stop. And he was like, no, I can't stand this. I can't stand this. They're blocking everything. This is not the hood. But the black folks were like, oh, man, this is just another elder white man raising sand. He's just raising sand. Don't worry about it. And so, and they're like, Mr. James, just understand, we're having a repass, somebody in our family just passed. We just need some parking right here. Like, I don't care. I don't care. So I was just wondering, can a Karen be any color or just anybody, and it's not just a uh, elder white woman. Can it be a black man, black woman? Can it just be anybody? So I laughed at myself. I truly laughed. I was like, has my behavior been displaying of a Karen? Because anybody know me right here, I'll go around laughing. I'll speak to anybody before they speak to me. I'm just chill, laid back like that. I'm easy to get along with. But that was something that was funny to me, and I just really had a laugh on that one. So that was my joke at myself, y'all. So how has everybody's weekend been going on and everything? Also, I just want to know, do you guys like the Sunday services that I've been doing on Sundays, inviting you guys to my church to praise and worship with us? Let me know about those also. When you guys get a chance to come in, hit us up in the chats. Like I said, like, subscribe. I've been seeing the views coming in and everything, so we've been averaging probably about 150, 200 people watching the lives on church and stuff like that. So that's cool. I mean, people may think that's not a lot, but just think about it. Can you get 200 people in a building? I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. Don't despise small beginnings. So, yeah. And also, another thing is, I was thinking about this here, and this can be a serious note or it can be just food for thought. Um, I was thinking about what 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 does anybody or what do you think personally? What do you think about letting children stay with you while they are getting married? What do you think about that? Say if they're first of all, what do you think about getting married early anyway? My point of view, I believe in it and I push it. If they're like 20, 21 or something like that, I say go for it. Go for it. And the reason I say go for it because what you're doing is you're starting a army. It's like you're recruiting, you're starting a base. You're starting a base, and you're doing this uh, in the rules and regulations, or in the love, or in the agenda of the Lord, the Most High. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said, "Be fruitful and multiply." I truly believe this is if they're in the ages of 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I say really like between the ages of 20 through 23. That's considered pretty young. When you get 25, you're pretty much in the work field and stuff like that. But if you're in the ages of like 20 through 23 or something like that, I say go for it. Go for it. Shoot for the stars. Make it work. Make it work. You're never too young, but the thing is, you have to have a family. You have to have a unit around you. You have to have a unit around you and have a healthy unit. People who are pro marriage, pro children, uh, pro together, who have that mindset like, hey, you know what? We want you guys in it to win it. You have to have that team that's rooting uh these young individuals on. I say go and do it because another reason I say let them do it early, and also possibly let them move in with you is because for one, a lot of families in America right now, the baby boomers, they're dying off or whatnot, and some of them they're leaving behind money, but most of them, a lot of them maybe not. A lot of us aren't coming from money. And then a lot of these young marriages, they're starting out with nothing. You're starting out with nothing. So, with them starting out with nothing, they're going to need a little leg up. They're going to need a little leg up. They're going to need something. So I would say give them about a year, to come in. It doesn't matter if they live with the father side, the mother side, or whatever. Let them come in for a year, help with the house and stuff like that that they're living in. Let them save some money, probably free rent, but they can help around with the groceries and things like that. And let them get some money in their pocket. Hey, say, hey, don't worry about no big wedding right now. Go to the courthouse, save up your money, because weddings cost like a decent wedding costs about $7,000 up, you know, and then that a ring. They say they want 3 months worth of wages or whatnot. Say bump all that. Right now we're going to do this the right way, and we're going to put you off on the winning route. Say bump the big wedding for right now. Go get you a ring that you can afford, and go up to the courthouse and get it done. And within 5 years, once you got everything rocking and rolling, then you can put into that wedding that you guys were thinking about. You know, then you can start rocking and rolling. Who knows? Maybe you may have some kids before then, but at least you started out on the right foot. Because sometimes parents just, we coming from different families who don't have all the resources to pass on to everybody. That's why another reason why I'm so big on entrepreneurship and starting businesses, and husbands and wives being like Abraham and Sarah. Abraham, he was the one that had to start it from the rock bottom, even though his family had riches and everything, but like with the faith, if you just think about the faith movement and everything, he's the father of faith. Christ started him out. He made him leave from everything that he knew or whatnot, and told him to come after him, and he started from brand new. He started from brand new, and that's kind of like somebody has to be the one that becomes the foundation. Somebody has to be the foundation to start things to leveling up. But the thing is, a lot of us are afraid to be the foundation because we feel like, or we think that we won't be able to live our lives. Our lives won't be fun. It won't be pleasurable and everything. But hey, somebody had to do something first. Somebody had to do something first. Somebody had to do something first so that the lineage or the legacy can prosper. And your your glory will be that, hey, Papa so and so and Grandma so and so were the ones who did this, so that we can have this. We have to honor and glorify them, through the Most High God. God bless them to have them to endure to do this and do that and do this, so that we all can have. So and that's what I'm big on. So yeah, I believe that, and like I think like the Hispanics, Mexicans, Latinos, and whatnot, they got it packed down. I've been in a caregiving business and whatnot, and I've seen families that have 3 bedroom, 2 baths, but they'll have at least two, four, six, probably about 8 people in a house or whatnot, but they do it one at a time. One leave out, one family leave out, one family leave out, one family leave out. That house that they all staying in, they all paid it off, and then they go off to another one or something, and they just do it over and over and over and over and over. And they don't, and their pleasure is that, what, we have a business. Oh, their pride is that we have a business. We started a business. We're in America. We come from this. You know what? We can say that, hey, you got to come work for me. I ain't got to go work for you. We have our own. That is their flex, you know. But we have it so backwards in other communities where we say, hey, we want to show what we have, you know, things that can rust and decay and stuff like that, instead of things that we can just pass down that will appreciate over time. So yeah, but I think that yeah, we need to change our minds, you know, and just realize somebody has to be the first. Somebody has to be the first. Yeah, so that's some of the things that's been on my mind. So peace and blessings to everybody. Hit us up, you know, hit the like, subscribes, the comments, put us some comments in there, talk back to us, Share this to your family, to all the loved ones that you have. And also, Gina and I, we're going to start talking about some dating things. I know that we are pushing, our channel's push towards marriage, but we're going to start talking about some dating things because that was laid on my heart also. I can't leave because guess what? I dated once also. Gina and I dated once also. Even though it wasn't for long, we only dated for 1 year before we got married. But yeah. So I have some things for you too. So ladies, be ready. Men, be ready. We're gonna talk about that and we're gonna get down. All right. Peace and blessings to everybody. This is James White, half of the Let's Stay Together channel. Peace and blessings. Love you. Pray all is well with you and yours. I pray the Most High God covers you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, keeps you and protects you. And amen. All right. Peace and blessings.